Hey guys, and welcome back to Groupstage D. Gonna be continuing here with Bozocow, that's me, versus Sanjo of the Banjo Valley. Gonna be on the Boneyard. I believe this one is Sanjo's pick. I'm pretty sure I said she could have the first pick. But actually, I do in fact have a document here. Which, yeah, it doesn't tell me. Sanjo picks Boneyard for game 1, Boz picks Torin for game 2, so that's how it's gonna be. Gonna be some Galzian versus Coalition action right here, and I believe what I was thinking when I played this game, although you can watch the My Screen video, which I recently posted to verify whether this is true or not, but was basically just like, well, I'm feeling really comfortable with this game, so let's just go ahead and rush. It'll be fun. I see one on RUs, so probably I'm doing the HME, the Assault Ship Rush. Probably not terribly recommended against Coalition, but I mean, if you can pull it off, why not? Sanjo, meanwhile, probably going Sport Cruiser first. We'll have to see, though. It is 6 salvagers up, and then we'll see what the choice is after this. Look at those quick dropping skills, by the way. Not to brag or anything, but that is pretty tasty there. Only a 9 RU CU inefficiency. And you can tell Sandscaper Fabrication is going to finish here, and then I'll almost immediately have 600 CUs and 100 RUs, which is what you need for Assault Ship Fabrication. I think... yeah, a little bit of a quick drop could be handy here. I could probably quick drop right now to get it in. That'd be a bit of a sweaty try-hard move, but... yeah, it looks like I'm not going to bother with quick dropping, so the Assault Ship Fabrication going to come out at the 1 minute and 15 second mark. That's pretty fast. You can get it a lot faster. If you watch some replays of Discara, he does this really well. They're pretty fun games. Whenever he plays Galzian, I guess he likes to go for these kinds of strategies. He generally does that in group stage matches where he kind of feels comfortable with them. Sort of like what I'm doing here, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's like really looked into the build a lot. I call it the hottest man ever build though because he's of course the guy who started it. Did you know, he's actually the guy who discovered the nasty blast drone rush build that's unholdable. He was like, I mean, couldn't you just do this? And then I think A-Game said something to the effect that he kind of like suspected that was a thing, but he'd never actually tried it, and then Hottest Man Ever did it, and he was like, oh, this is much worse than I thought. In fact, I made Hottest Man Ever rage quit against me in a game when I did the Blast Drone Rush against him, and that was the shortest tournament game on record. I think it was 26 seconds long, I think. It was on the Boneyard too, actually. So Bond versus kind of... Pretty sure about that. Well, Sandskimmers are looking for a bit of an opening here, but I'm not really having too much luck, as you can see. But I am actually delaying the filling of that second base, which is pretty good already. Army Unit Defenses 1 is coming out as the assault ship is being produced here, but I feel like there should already be one on the field. Maybe not. Maybe I'm kind of overestimating how fast that tech can be finished. Sandskimmer here is going to be hooned on, which is fine though. I'm just going to move into the main with that assault ship, and that's going to be really tasty. And it's just LAVs out right here. That's obviously why you get this this tech here, the armor. Really important when you're going to do this kind of thing, because LAVs can really kill they can really kill assault ships when you don't get this armor tech. So it's important to get that. Once there are 2 assault ships, it's pretty much game over for those salvagers, and that is indeed what happens here. Carry needs to get involved, doesn't want to just stand back here, but definitely evacuating all these guys onto the second and trying to mine from there is probably the right move here. As Railgun Fabrication comes up, you want to buy as much time as you can. LAV's going to get killed off here first. This is a little bit sloppy for me because I feel like I should actually be a much better position at this stage, but it's going to be fine. I do kill off all those LAVs. The support cruiser hasn't really moved at all. So she's going to lose 4 salvagers here almost certainly, and then probably the support cruiser too, although it remains to be seen. But at this point you might honestly consider retirement. That sounds like a sick roast on like old people, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm kind of chickening away from this carrier here. I don't want to be doing that. I'm like backing away and giving him a lot of respect. The really important thing is just get that production cruiser out of the way. Yeah, support cruiser will fall here. There's no saving that. Yeah, I mean, you can lose a production cruiser doing this kind of stuff, and it's like, dope, you know, a really stupid move. So you just want to get that guy out of the way once it's safe to do so. Or rather, before it's unsafe to do. You know what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, support cruiser goes down. There's actually a railgun out, but he's close up to this assault ship, so I think he loses this fight. Nothing left on Sanjo's side of the field here, so... Oh no. Tragically, she hasn't saved enough resources even to build an economy back. I mean, it shouldn't really matter. I don't know. this guy. Sanjo, it is all about this base sprinter right here. But look, it's saying that she could put down a turret, like she has the money for that. But that can't be true, right? Oh well. This base runner here has to get back to the carrier and get retired, and then sell. No, it's over. I mean, this is a done game for sure. I don't think I realized just how much damage I had done, so I'm planning on just holding my opponent off for the second and getting refiner mode. So this is probably going to take a little bit of time. Why don't we speed it up a little bit here? Oh yeah, it looks like Sanjo knows what's going on and she just chooses to surrender. That's probably just as well, because this game could go on for quite a while. If I'm like building interceptors and stuff, I clearly don't realize that I've done that much damage to her, so that's probably just fine. Let's move on to game 2 then. Game 2 is my pick on Tauren Crater. For obvious reasons. I mean, I'm playing Galazine here, but I decided, I was thinking about this, I was like, game 1, yeah, that was not really very hard at all. Like, why don't we try to have some fun on this map, alright? So, so in we go. Galazine versus Coalition again. But I am going to do the Missile Ship Rush. This is a really dumb build. It should not ever work. But if you can pull it off, it's kind of fun to do. So I like to try it in the group stage when I kind of feel like it's a bit of a chill match, you know what I mean? I've done it on an auto match too. That's risky, but I did win those games. In fact, I think I did some Missile Ship games against No Fun back when he was still kind of new. He is still new, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I bet if I did that to him today, he would actually hold it, but remains to be seen. Well, as you can see, one Salvager goes on to RUs. Gonna retire the base burner. This is becoming a build order tutorial video right now. I probably want to get a Salvager coming out of this production cruiser when the base burner retirement comes down, but Sandskimmer fabrication coming immediately, I think, is what I go for here. I'm not sure if I need that, actually, because the missile ship is a pretty expensive tech on RUs. Yeah, so I need to have actually 2 guys starting on RUs if I'm going to do it this way. You'll see why in a second. So missile ship fabrication costs 125 RUs, which means it requires a quick drop, really. Like, you're not gonna pull this off without quick dropping. Once these 2 guys drop off, they're gonna give me 80, which puts me to 120, and then I can do a tiny quick drop to get the 5. And then I can have missile ship fabrication coming out at like the 40-second mark, I think. This is already 1 minute in, so you can tell I'm doing it a little bit sloppily. As for Sanjo, it is 6 salvagers, but then LAV Fab comes out. I assume she's not going to get a production cruiser here. Or a support cruiser, that is. But, I mean, nothing's happening yet, so I'm not totally sure what the plan is. Probe gonna get sniped here. LAV armor comes out, okay, so I mean, but she hasn't made any LAVs yet. We'll see. We'll monitor the situation. I'm not gonna quick drop, so I guess I'm really not tryharding at all here. Like I said, you can get the missile ships coming out like really fast here, but I'm clearly not. So it's the 1 minute 30-second mark that I start getting the fabrication tech. You can get missile ship fabrication at like 40 seconds, I bet. You know what I mean? And then have the first missile ships hitting the field like. What's their production time? It's pretty big. I think it's like 40 seconds maybe. So you can probably get missile ships hitting the field like before the 3-minute mark. I don't know. This is clearly not the best execution, but it'll do. And then I get long distance miners on RUs because I can tell I'm going to be RU capped this game, but really I'm just not going to have many resources at all. There's a reason why this is not really widely done, but the idea is that if you can strike at the eco with your opponent not watching it, then you can have a really easy game because you'll kill off all the salvagers. And then if you want to be stupid, you can keep going with the missile ship idea and just like make more and more and more of them and try to just win using only missile ships and sand skimmers. And that's clearly what I have on my mind, so. Probe tragically unaware of what's going on here. Probably knows the production cruiser is close, but is not aware of just what's going on here. And it's also tricky because if Sanjo's like over here, like microing units and whatever, and then like the probe dies, she'll be like, oh, okay, probe died to the production cruiser, so it's like right there, yeah. But in fact, it's gonna be like a missile ship there, and she won't like know. Anyway, railgun fabrication comes out from Sanjo. Actually, that's a really good move, because she senses clearly that it's going to be some kind of aggression. Production cruiser is not by the second base, we don't see any more long distance miners, so that's good. That's definitely what you ought to be doing. And indeed, this tech is going to be very helpful as well, versus, you know, the sand skimmers. But I think what's going on here really is she's being scared by the fact that I have her surrounded. The LAVs can like push out on this side a little bit, and you don't want to go too far because you'll get chased a little bit, but like you don't need to worry about these 2 guys. And what you should do is split off one of the LAVs, run down this pass, and try to see like what your opponent is doing, where his production cruiser is and stuff. Just get that information, because that's going to be very helpful for you. 2 missile ships are done, so that's all I need. to execute the strategy. So now I'm just going to try to distract my opponent here a little bit. I don't want her to see the missile ships, so you can see I'm kind of like bouncing around, but it looks like she actually caught sight of them right there. Oh yeah, it's pretty sloppy of me to like go all the way around. This is clearly the long way. I want to go this way, but still, like, what's she gonna do about this? It's tricky. Second production cruise is on the way, by the way. I can sack all of these sand skimmers if I get the eco. Like, that's all I care about, really. So I'm alright with that. The only problem is that the production cruiser is potentially a little bit weak there. Thing is, this is nice on Tor and Crater because this is a really nasty choke point right here, too. Missiles come in, she doesn't try to split, so that's going to be 4 salvagers dead. I think. Yeah. And that is the missile ship rush, friends. But I wouldn't recommend you try it because you'll probably lose. It's just not good, but I was actually, at the beginning, investigating this as if maybe it was like a real legit strategy, but I quickly discovered, like, if your opponent makes the right moves, there's no way you can possibly pull it off, so... And the other problem is that when they split their salvagers like that, you really can't get many kills with this either. That doesn't stop me. Oh, look at that beefy barrage. That's nasty. That is nasty. What's the cooldown on this? It's like 15 seconds left. So yeah, if they try to push through that choke, they're gonna have a hard time probably, because, you know, like 7 seconds and then it's gonna be ready again. The problem really is these railguns, I guess. If I can deny vision for my opponent here, I won't lose these missile ships, which is good. Refiner mode coming out for me. I'm going to be on 3 base pretty soon. I need to get a lot of salvagers for that, obviously, but I will be on 3 base pretty soon. And then we can begin the missile ship extravaganza. It's a fun strategy, it really is. I think I want to just push up through the pass here, honestly. Because, like... Yeah, you know. No, I mean, I think I can get at the eco one more time. And the LAVs are really not going to be able to kill me very fast, so... I'm not sure what I'm doing here. That's like campaign levels of Miss Micro, dude. But look at this, missile ships have found their way up into the base again. I'm only going to want to barrage with 2 of them because I want one of them to be used on like the defense of these units here. The other thing I should do is get assault ship fabrication at some point so that I can get the upgrades for the missile ships, but... Yeah, salvagers leave, so I'm like, okay, I've already done the damage, you know what I mean? I don't really need even to fire. I just need to be here, clearly. And the question is, can I get these LAVs too? Third barrage there was definitely a miss micro. I think the other 2 were really good though. But that actually tells me these railguns are probably a little bit exposed, so I come up with the sand skimmers, and sure enough, I'm actually ready to chew on them a little bit, which is nice. Just getting those bases filled out right now, but I'm sure the missile ship fabrication will begin, yeah, pronto. So I probably will lose one of these guys here, but like that's okay. I could actually micro this better too. If you just get up on the high ground and hold position there, it'd be good, you know what I mean? But yeah, for Sanjo, like, I think what I would say here is, even though you don't expect to come across this strategy often, but you do see missile ships a lot in the late game versus Galzian, what you should do, I think, is focus on like not having the LAVs bunched up together like that, because if they split off into multiple groups, the missile ships actually lose their ability to attack. The only reason the missile ships can actually kill these things is because they're all together in a group, right? And so you won't have problems with like leaving your railguns undefended, and you probably won't get bombed too badly by the missile ships either. So if I had sand skimmer numbers there, I probably would have just run right in, but I don't. Yeah, assault ship fabrication on the way for me now, so I'm gonna get those upgrades for the missile ships, as well as sand skimmer upgrades. It looks like a just choice. There's a little bit of downtime here, if I remember correctly, so we're just going to speed it up just a little bit. I could actually move in right now if I knew. LAV's bunching up here. Uh-oh. Okay. They'll do that around, you know, line of sight blockers and stuff. They'll bunch up into a line, and then the missile ships will just kill them instantly, so definitely got to be careful about that one. But it looks like the eco ready to be bombed again here. And sure enough, it will be. This guy's surviving by the skin of his teeth. But no, he gets killed off by the sand skimmers there. LAV's going to want to do a counter push here now, but it's going to be tricky because there is actually another missile ship ready to barrage. You can see some Bozo micro there where I control click and then grab the guy and pull him up again. Oh! Oh, jeez. Ouch. That was tasty. That was tasty, alright. It's starting to get pretty ridiculous numbers of missile ships out on the field. There's 8 of them now. Nareen really playing his chances there. Playing with fire. Siege cruiser fabrication. Well, I mean, I guess I have the assault ship line going down anyway. The other reason I think I'm getting this is because I can't get fleet capacity because I have a sand skimmer tech going on right now, so I mean, I might as well, you know, do something that costs money. Support cruiser is going to go down here. Sanjo just doesn't really have an answer. I think she's typing right now. Because, I mean, it's pretty obvious to both of us that the game is finished at this point. It's glorious, right? It's glorious. I think I actually calculated one time how many missile ships it takes to kill the carrier. It's like 40 or something in like one barrage, you know what I mean? I mean, that's really not bad because the damage dump that they do is really fast, you know what I mean? So you can really like come in clutch and win carrier wars that you'd otherwise lose using missile ships. I mean, they're good units, you know what I mean? When I'm playing as Coalition, I use the missile batteries too, but like they're not as good because they don't do much against armor, you know what I mean? Or at least that's my thought. They're actually really, really good against like LAVs and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. These kinds of abilities here, these are things that I really think make a game good. Like people talk about how they don't want, you know, a really APM heavy, you know, microfest game, right? But these kinds of abilities that units can use are really interesting. They are actually really good for the game. So I definitely am glad that the missile ship and stuff have this attack because it turns just kind of a boring anti-air unit into like a really interesting unit. You know? So just look at all those missiles, man. Carries at 5,000 health now. So we can't take another hit like that. See 3 barrages of this guy and I'm gonna take out that carrier. Oh! Look at that! Salvagers coming in clutch, although they don't really do too much there, do they? These missile ships obviously just gonna heal that back up. I think the missile ship is just like a very red unit, but maybe that's actually the stripe color, I don't know. My missile ships are red anyway. It's interesting because like my faction, like this is the red is the stripe and just gray is the base color, but with Galazine it turns out that like most of the units are mostly red anyway. Well, if my math is on, this should be the game ending barrage there. Sure enough. Quizel. Nicely done. Chokizel. And that will be the end of the game. So, gonna be a 2-0 for me. Not really the unexpected result. I don't mean to be all hubrisy or whatever, but Sanjo definitely had quite a match ahead of her if she was gonna win that one. But I don't know. I thought it was a good opportunity to just have some fun with it, try Missile Ship Rush. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I definitely did. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Which is going to be between Catharsis and me, which is the really big decider for who gets a bit of an easier time in the bracket. So, till then, see you.